Welcome, 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 everybody. Hopefully, everybody's doing well over there. Welcome to the stream. How's everybody doing? Welcome in. We got one series tonight. We got a semifinals matchup, and let's cut right to the chase here. It's Golden Esports Premier WashedFC. As you guys can see, my message, we're having some slight internet issues. I should probably say that before the stream. Here, we are having some slight issues. I'm noticing that my bitrate overall is fluctuating a little bit, so you might get some spikes here and there. Let me know if they ever get like worse. If they ever get worse, they're not horrible now, but they are worse than usual. Again, let me know if they ever get to a point where it might be a bit where it's really difficult to watch. But again, overall, got a strong night of matches, or I guess match here because we only have one series, a best of 7. Again for the semifinals. Let's take us through the team's current bracket run. Golden Esports Premier was one of 2 teams to end off the regular season undefeated, not losing to anybody. They're coming into the bracket as one of the top teams to win this one. On the other side, we saw the other team, Dark Falcons, actually make their run to the bracket. They're in the grand finals, waiting for whoever wins this series. But for Golden Esports Premier, I don't think people were nearly as confident in this team and making it through, but there's still a lot of confidence. I mean, you were undefeated. You're going to keep going. Obviously, the questions were, how well would they fare in that bracket? Their first matchup was against Breadcrumb Gaming, and it was immediately looking like they might not be able to keep that same kind of success as they went to Game 7, had to win in overtime in Game 7 overtime to win that. So again, a lot of concerns. And coming up against Missouri, S&T Silver, there's a lot of people who doubted their performance, but they won that series, silenced everybody, and silenced all the critics in a sweep. So got to the semifinals here pretty quickly. As on the other side of the field, WashedFC started off against the extremely strong White Lotus. Had to win that one in Game 7 overtime, an 11-goal Game 7. Moved on to play Fury Esports Blue in another Game 7. They had to win 3 games in a row to get that series, taking Games 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, their bracket's been pretty tumultuous, but makes sense for a team that's considered a lower seed. Again, I'm making sure that we don't have too many major internet issues here. It does seem like we are having some internet problems, which is not great right now. Again, here are our teams tonight. It is Esports Premier, WashedFC. We got the info out for both these teams. We'll be waiting for them to join the lobby. Yeah, but again, thank you all for joining in a bit earlier to just sit around and talk. If there's anything you need to know, of course, let me know about that. But what I'm definitely interested in is the fact that Golden Esports Premier are currently undefeated in all their matches. They are probably your heavy favorites to win this, but favorites doesn't mean anything in the up-and-coming Cup playoffs. As we've seen a lot of favorites go out early. Premier obviously have not been that, but they have had some difficult times, but not more difficult than what WashedFC have had to face. Again, just trying to confirm here with the teams how they're doing. Of course, those again, if there's any problems with the stream, let me know. I might have to reset the stream at some point, which would not be fun. Hoping we don't have to do that. Yes, the frames issues are becoming a little bit more prevalent. It's because I think the television's running downstairs. That's probably what's happening. That does happen often, unfortunately. And generally when the television's on downstairs, that means this computer is not going to be nearly as effective at running the level it wants to. As again, we're going to be low end game here. Again, if the issues become worse, let me know. But I'm hoping that they stay relatively out of the way. the very least, say minor issues. Again, I could deal with minor issues. Not uncommon with this stream. Again, Dark Falcons sitting on the other side of the bracket. They've already qualified. They swept their semifinal matchup. Maybe Golden Esports Premier does the same thing here. That would be quite the result. They swept their quarterfinal matchup, so they definitely have what it takes. And as we heard from JD1 yesterday, that he doesn't care who he plays against. No preferences, so he seems definitely wants to get their shot at this top tier team. As again, we're now getting a message from WashedFC. They're going to be a little bit late to this one. That's fine. Here we go, Avcro, Lona, Shoddy. That's their starting roster here. Again, they played with their sub actually when they got that sweep. They played with the Slotho. A lot of questions on how they perform again with their first matchup against Broadcom Gaming being a little too close for most people to handle. Ranks, these teams are hanging around, I think, the like GC2 range. At least the teams left in the bracket are. There are some other like lower teams like Champ 2 teams, but those teams didn't make it this far. Teams left in the bracket are around like GC2. Yeah, I have been following this private team for a while. Being, you know, someone who is affiliated with Golden Esports. This roster has remained relatively unchanged for the amount of time it's been on Golden Hour. In fact, actually, it has remained unchanged at all in its entirety because I don't think any of the 5 players have actually ever been like changed or removed, or I don't think we've seen any change with this team. Actually, for all the time it's been here, which is really impressive. You don't see that happen with most teams. Again, we're hearing from Carp that they're going to be a slight bit late here for WashedFC, but not a problem. At least we know they're there. I was going to say, I don't think there's going to be any questions on what these teams are going to bring, but who's going to come out today and who's going to really show up. The prediction poll is actually heading about 50-50 here on the points, which is pretty nice to see. Maybe a slight bit of an underdog favorite here in WashedFC actually winning the points battle. I'm just waiting on WashedFC to join on up, and as soon as they're here, we have got ourselves a series. Oh, Shoddy almost joined. That's bad timing. Prediction still up? No, it is not. It has closed. It always starts up about 5 minutes before the actual match start time. Unfortunately. And because a lot of people have voted already, I am not going to reset it. But don't worry, you'll have more chances in the future if you keep watching the stream. Not tonight, this is the only matchup tonight, but I'm sure in the future when, you know, get some more requests this week, you'll get it. Especially for the up-and-coming Cup Finals, there will be a prediction poll for that. Do not worry, there will be a poll for that. And just needing to get confirmation here from both these teams. As soon as we hear from WashedFC, good to go. Again, we haven't. Again, they said they might be a little bit late. Obviously, they're right about that, but they are here. I have gotten in contact with Carp. Don't worry. They're not going to miss out on the semifinal matchup. I hope. But don't worry, they'll make the semifinal matchup. Yeah, they are. You know they do here soon. There's Carp, Turks, Tuscany. That's also their starting roster. So we got both starting rosters here, which makes sense for the semi-finals. Dark Falcons waiting in the final match, the final match of the playoffs. Who will meet them there? It's Golden Arrow Esports Premier. WashedFC. These teams have had their fair share of trials and tribulations. Game 7 overtimes for both of them. Now they face each other, and what it will become the most important matchup of their season thus far. Only one step away from a chance at the all-important glory of first place. Early shot, Avcro, just a little wide. Carp trying to find the clear. Shoddy will jump up to meet him. Golden Arrow Esports. Very similar to Dark Falcons, that they are an aggressive, loving team. But what I think is different is that Golden Arrow Esports likes to play a lot faster. Their playstyle maybe is a little more chaotic as well. At least in the playoff bracket. For Dark Falcons during the regular season, they were all about chaos, but now in the playoff bracket, they sit back. Golden Arrow Esports Premier have not done that. Instead, they have been ones to take more risks. And say what you might about that playstyle, it has worked for them. Is now in front for Carp. That one will go to the back post. And somehow it finds its way in. Shoddy couldn't see you through the smoke, couldn't catch this one. And it's Carp to fly on through towards the back. WashedFC score with about 4 minutes left in this game. The importance of demos. We haven't really seen a lot of these teams go for demos. It feels like for a lot of teams, you either go all in for the demos or not at all. Very rarely have we seen actually teams in this league actually go for them, which has definitely been a surprise for me, with how important they are. Especially with the the playstyle of Golden Arrow Esports, they actually might benefit from it. Is now Turks trying to get in the clear. Chalona waiting for it. A little touch off to Avcro. WashedFC definitely sitting further back in this game, but so far their defense has held up. Tuscany jumping for it. Avcro. Good first touch here. Avcro could go down the field. Bumps Carp. Falling on it is Carp. Avcro couldn't get the follow-up. Chalona now. Turks keeps it out. Shoddy. Saved by Tuscany. Golden Arrow Esports Premier. Had a real opportunity in front of that net there for Avcro. Really need to make more of those opportunities when you get them. It's definitely a good threat here from Golden Arrow Esports Premier at the very least. As now. This one will bounce in front. Avcro misses. Tuscany will clear it away. Second touch for Tuscany. WashedFC still have this 1-goal lead. As Avcro. Up is Chalona, the famous turtle man of Golden Arrow Esports. But he can't put that one on target. Now WashedFC the other way. Are still kept at a 1-goal differential, but does that change? Shoddy. Tuscany clears it back. Avcro trying to hold it. Tuscany with the dunk in front. Chalona has to clear this one. Avcro looks long. Tuscany answers right back. Team bump here for WashedFC. A bit careful here. Now from Carp, who has to make a smart decision. This one straight to Avcro to the bottom right corner. Golden Arrow Esports Premier tie this game back up. The team bump left that whole right side open. And Avcro will beat past the running Turks. The follow coming in from Jazda as well. Good timing. Thank you for the follow. Only game 1, and both these teams have now striked against each other. There's not really been a blow-for-blow match. It's really been the exact opposite of this one. They're trying to stop any sort of offense coming. Is that a mistake? Avcro to Chalona. Infield and in for Golden Arrow Esports. WashedFC here. Tuscany maybe a little too relaxed. That one bounces off the corner in the worst way possible. And immediately we see Golden Arrow Esports pounce on that one. Now WashedFC, they're the ones facing defeat here, but they'll tie it back up from Carp. 2-2, another kickoff goal. And Tuscany outraces everybody there. And Carp smashed into the top of the net. Now Turks, almost getting another one, but Chelona will get to it, looking for the pinch. Now, gets past Tuscany. Carp misses this, could actually still make a chance here. Turks wanted to find Tuscany. He'll race towards it. Now Tuscany with some space. He's got a flip on this one, I think. 2 players from Golden Hour jump for it. Avgro, Turtle Man, Chelona off to the corner. Right in front for Tuscany. Golden Hour. I've done well with these close quarters passes as Avgro in front for Chelona. That will be a third. And it's right now, it's Avgro and Chelona to really read each other in this offense. I mean, Avgro could have scored that run, I think. He was in a position where he definitely had the ability, although the more high IQ and definitely the more possible play there, just to let Chelona walk in with that shot. But back the other way for WashedFC. This game started off very low scoring. Felt like we were going to be stuck at 1 goal for its entirety, but the teams have definitely gotten their offenses back to a more production-based level. As now a flick, saved by Carp off his own post. Golden Hour still pushing. 1 more goal, surely will secure game 1. Avgro, 2 touches, still bouncing in front. No one is reading this one. Chelona, sidewall. WashedFC need to keep this ball airborne. Avgro might have helped him here. He's going to try to get it to drop. Tuscany, little pop, shoddy. Will let this one hit the ground. Golden Hour Esports Premier take game 1. A back and forth, seemingly a back and forth game. It really felt like Golden Hour Esports Premier were kind of winning this tug of war. It was close. It was 1 goal for WashedFC, and then Golden Hour Sports started to come alive here at that offense. So many passing plays, really. They aren't going to be scoring from these solo plays, especially against teams like WashedFC. They're going to be too good at stopping them. You have to have a little more on offense to be threatening. But again, a good start for this Golden Hour team. It was a close game 1, but every game is that important. And knowing how WashedFC plays, they play up to their opponents. They are not a team to ever back away from a challenge, and that's the scary part about this WashedFC team. No matter who they face off against, they always find a way to keep themselves competitive. Is that one bouncing? Shoddy. Oh my goodness, hits it to the other corner. He took about as much time as he needed to get that one in. Shoddy here with just close quarters combat. WashedFC, I don't think they were ready for that one. With how high-flying Golden Hour Esports can be, them taking it on the ground like this is definitely a change-up. Chelona. Get off to the back wall. Still an infield play. Shoddy. Countered by Tuscany. WashedFC. It feels like whenever they get into a series of this kind of caliber, it always goes to game 7. I mean, that's how it feels. But right now, Golden Hour Esports definitely not letting that happen. As they're the ones with the midfield aggression. They're the ones who've now just beaten 2 players. Avgro trying to get past Turks. Instead, go back. But another clear up from Golden Hour Esports Premier. Trying to just have the cogs spinning here. Have the machines working. Making sure they have enough oil in them. Tuscany. Light touch. No boost left. Avgro can collect this one. And again, Golden Hour Esports will bring this out of their half. WashedFC just doesn't have enough time to set things up. As that one from Shoddy, just off the connection between that post and the crossbar. And now WashedFC the other way. Redirect, Tuscany. Oh, couldn't read it and drop it down under the crossbar. That was a brilliant counterplay here from WashedFC. They have not been able to keep possession on the midfield, and so instead, they're trying to go for these counterattack options as Barcelona gets 2 to jump. Golden Arrow Esports laying siege. I still haven't found the ultimate breakthrough just yet. Turks. Oh, straight to Chelona. Missed, though, from Chelona. And now Avgro has to recover. Avgro. Oh, wanted that second touch. And you're not going to see those plays really work out. But it has really been the bread and butter of Golden Arrow Esports this series so far, has been those passing options. Being able to read the play. Being able to follow your teammates' touches. That one's on. Shoddy keeps it out of the nets. This game, with it being a 1-goal differential, is so stressful. We saw just how vulnerable those leads are from last game when WashedFC got up by 1 goal. They held it for so long, but it doesn't really matter how long you hold the lead if you can't hold it until the very final seconds. Infield, Chelona, another infield goal here. Usually it's Avco who gets on the ends of these, but Chelona himself has also been getting himself involved in those exact plays. And for Golden Arrow Esports fans, you gotta love the current outlook. Because right now, it's very positive. Especially with this game being even more difficult for WashedFC to get themselves rolling on offense. Davgro puts up the sidewall. We'll leave it for Chelona. Again infield from Chelona. Carps missed this. Tuscany infield. Jumped by Turks as well. And Tuscany will have to play even more aggressively. Multiple saves for Tuscany. Net's open. Carp will get to it. And now a team bump means that Golden Arrow Esports once again keeps the ball possession. Shoddy, past 1. Pop over Turks. Trying to get through all 3. That's why you have Carp waiting in the backfield. Another infield attempt. Another one kept out, but the demo from Avgro means that now again WashedFC forced to have to panic their way back to defense. They're really having to play rushed. You can tell it's disrupting that overall rotational play from them. And he's jumping for it is Shoddy. Really been the undersung player on this Golden Arrow team. He's been playing a very much a kind of a damage control player, making sure that nothing bad goes wrong for this team. If Avco and Chelona push up for a pass and it doesn't work, they know that they have Shoddy behind them. Again, case in point, there we go. Chelona misses that, but Shoddy will prevent it from being a catastrophe. A lot of players jumping from this WashedFC side. Avco, infield pass, Chelona trying to jump on top of it. Golden Arrow Esports have full control here in this final minute. Tuscany boots this one down the field. Shoddy will keep it close. Dribble play. Gets past Carp. Shoddy can't read this one. Avgro to the ceiling. Pass in front. Carp will clear it. Final 10 seconds approaching here. WashedFC, maybe they get a chance here. Shoddy's just not played that one very well. Carp's pinch has gone too far, though. And that will end it here for WashedFC. A must-score opportunity. They couldn't take it. And it will be 2-0 for Golden Arrow Esports right now in the series. Again, this game getting even further away from the possibilities of WashedFC. They could not keep that ball. They could not even score. Right now, the shooting, I mean, that I think is a great statistic here. Look at this, 9 shots to 2. They're beating WashedFC here. Maybe WashedFC have finally met their match this season. We'll move to Game 3. We'll see if Golden Arrow Esports can continue this. It's not going to be an easy path for them. With how things have looked, they might make this series quick. We're seeing a lot of sweeps in this final playoff bracket, as we're seeing some of the top teams just prove to be the top teams over and over again. As Avgo's got the dunk, another early goal for Golden Arrow Esports. Shoddy wanted the double tap. He did not get very close to that, but Afro will dunk out Tuscany as his first shot wasn't very well placed, but I mean, he's in the right place at the right time. I guess you can always count on the follow-up. He's now missed from Carp. Shoddy. Turks jumping for it, trying to go through the midfield here. Shoddy now. The ceiling, drop down for Afro, off the crossbar, follow up from Shoddy, hasn't gotten himself involved in the offense very much. But there you go, he'll put himself on the score sheet. The initial pass to Afro was so well placed from Shoddy, I'm surprised Afro didn't score that, but again, the follow-up always there for Golden Hour Esports. And within the first 30 seconds of this game, they're already leading by 2. So many goals they got last game. Trying to one-up themselves, but that one to the backfield. Turks wants a pinch. He's just pinched it the wrong direction. Or has he? Tuscany's still getting involved here in that sidewall, becoming a nuisance back there. No, okay, that double touch from Africa will get rid of any sort of offensive pressure that WashedFC had. They're going to have to reset from square one. Miss here from Chelona. Afko jumping. He's gotten pushed away. Carp put it off the crossbar. Follow up. Almost got saved, but it will still go in for Carp. Golden Hour Esports were bumbling in the defense there. They got booted. They got bumped. And still, oh, Carp almost saved that one, actually. He almost saved it. Keyword almost. It still goes in for WashedFC. Avco. Carp will just challenge him here. Sees the opening for it. Golden Hour Esports have to get this one away. Infield, Tuscany jumps for it. The only one waiting is Shoddy, but he won't jump. Gives Carp space. Shoddy here. Leaves in front of his net. That's a bad idea. And Shoddy almost turning what was going to be a routine defensive play into a nightmare. Golden Hour Esports now have to play some pretty strong defense as WashedFC are the ones who are playing so close. These clears from Golden Hour are quite low. And because of that, WashedFC in response are playing such a high press. It's not straight from the midfield or maybe just behind the midfield line like you usually see. No, they're playing in front of that midfield line. Look at where they are. They're situating themselves between the edge of the box and the midfield. And they're really... And that means that they can play faster, more responsive here to Golden Hour. It does also mean that when Golden Hour gets a good, strong clear, that WashedFC could be in a tough situation. But so far, WashedFC are just pressing heavily. Shalona to Shoddy. Golden Hour gets this one away. Good flip from Shoddy. That's maybe a little too powerful. Afko pinch down. Yeah, it was a little too powerful of a flick there from Shoddy if he wanted the pass. That could just fall in! Oh, Chelona! That's an interesting play there. I don't think he expected that. I don't think anybody expected that. And yet it does drop into the back of the net. Sometimes things just fall into place. Golden Hour reaffirmed that two-goal lead that they had before. And Tuscany, what a dunk! He's going to place this one down. Gets Shoddy as a result. Turks now. Oh, here comes Chelona from the ceiling. Oh, I can't believe he got that dunk. I did not think he had him there. He was losing on the boost game. He was also a bit slow to get up to the play. Generally want to cut off the plays before they go for them. Yet he still got a touch on that one, Chelona. Golden Hour Esports Premier, a lot more defense this game. They're definitely holding up valiantly. Is now upwards, but not outwards. Golden Hour, that clear won't be very favorable. Afko has to jump onto it just to keep the ball away from that net and prevent any sort of catastrophe, any sort of difficult situation from happening. Tuscany gives it right back to Chelona. Infield, Afko, not in. Maybe a follow-up. Shoddy couldn't get to it. Instead, he'll take the boost. And now he'll challenge. Against Shoddy. Shoddy. To Chelona. Back wall left uncovered. Neither WashedFC nor Golden Hour Esports are ready to face that situation. Shoddy again beats out a player trying to dunk him. Afro's missed this. A reminder again, Shoddy has been the one kind of keeping Golden Esports from here away from getting into these odd man rushes on defense. Oh, and he's gonna get another goal here! WashedFC pushed everybody up. They went for the challenge, knowing that they were probably not going to win for it. There was so little time remaining. I think they might have been able to wait a little longer here and still have easily enough time, but they decided to take a chance there. They could not get the challenge, though. Is now infield. Tuscany. Can he hold it? Afro on target. That makes it 5. Golden Esports Premier now. 2 quick goals. And this game is surely out of reach for WashedFC. Five to 1, 44 seconds left. Unless WashedFC create a miracle here. Golden Esports Premier now will be up 3-0 in the series. Quadruple match points. Similar position they were in when they played Missouri S&T Silver last time in the quarterfinals. Went up by 3 and they didn't look like they were stopping. But 1 goal will go back for Carp. Maybe the WashedFC team has something cooking here. Tuscany. Straight down. Zelena will keep it out, and again, I think that might have ended it here. If the 5-1 didn't end it, that save definitely did, because WashedFC had to score there. They had to score basically on any play they got. And Golden Esports, they are playing like they mean it. Is there anything WashedFC can do? We've seen a lot of sweeps in this final bracket. It looks like it might stay that way as a 0-second goal will go in for Tuscany. Just 1 more goal, maybe to get some confidence for WashedFC. They have kept it somewhat close to the end of the game here, but it's just they got that offense a little too late. This game, they had offensive chances, but Golden Esports Premier was so efficient at the start of the game that they gathered themselves such a strong lead. 4-1 with, less than a minute left. WashedFC it's just really difficult to come back from that kind of a deficit. WashedFC now have to make a reverse sweep in a best of 7. Something that has never happened on the stream before. Happen here. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. But they have to hold on to that hope. It's now Game 4, Golden Esports Premier. 1 win away from making it to the Grand Finals. His bouncer. Harp jumping, but doesn't get the read. That Golden Hour, cleared the other way. Afro and Chelona both pumping each other into that one. And then in comes Shoddy. It feels like that mistake never even happened. WashedFC clear. Afro will stop this one. Shoddy now off the corner. Jumping is Afro. Back to Shoddy here. Bench play. Afro. Oh, that's just off the back wall in front. Chelona might want to jump on that, but Turks will beat him out to that one. Chelona never made the final decision to go for that shot. Makes sense. He was not going to be able to beat Turks there. As now Afro down the field might get the second touch. It's a little wide. Carp now holding this one. Shoddy with a strong challenge. Still Shoddy infield. Cleared away. Golden Esports leaving their net open back here. Turks won't go for it, so I don't think he recognized that no one was behind him. Carp having been demoed by a premier defender. That was kind of the plan of that demo. Remove the option of Carp shooting that one. And it worked really well. Turks never even noticed that his plan was never going to work in the first place when Carp was gone. Still no goals though in this game. And no score game like this Definitely gives WashedFC chances to take the lead and maybe even hold it. Tuscany bumps, still gets the play off the back wall. Shoddy clears, straight to Turks though. Golden Area Sports sending 2 players up immediately to challenge on Tuscany. Sorry, on Turks. Tuscany now from the midfield. Testing Shoddy's defense. And now, pass out to Turks. Well placed, but that shot a little wide. Carp, follow up. Afro is waiting for it. WashedFC pushing. At some point, something's going to break here for Golden Area Sports Premier. They've had to make a lot of really impressive plays off that back wall. As that one's just going to fall in, Afro will get the first goal. I did not see this coming here. Chelona just got a perfect 50-50. Afro is waiting right there for it. I don't think that was planned, but I mean, Afro's in the right position there. Maybe it was. Golden hour. Now the floodgates have opened. They're going to add more in quick succession. Seems to be how their offense works. It seems like once they get one goal, a second is sure to follow. As now a double commits. Shoddy's the last one back. Still wins the challenge, though. Great decision making there from Shoddy, who's been having to make great decisions all series long. Seriously, the underspoken player in this series. I've been really impressed with Shoddy. Because with Afro and Chelona around you, it's so easy to get caught up into offense! Oh my, Tuscany! There's nothing Shoddy can do about that! He puts it off the corner here. I can't believe, look at that angle. That is incredible. Tuscany. Even Shoddy has to say that was a good play. That is definitely a surprise here. Golden Area Esports have not been all that successful in offense this game. It's, again, a real chance for WashedFC to take one back. As Chelona, off the back wall, Carp waiting, in front, in comes Avcro, couldn't reach it. Now Shoddy, off the ceiling, second touch, gets past Turks. Now Chelona, tap down. Avcro's waiting all the way back on defense. Avcro with it, dunked by Carp, that one almost gave the lead here to WashedFC. Follow up from Turks, still wide. Now in comes Tuscany, he can't put it on. Carp, drop down and in. 2-1 for WashedFC. The initial catch from Avco was horrible. And that's what creates the spiral descent that WashedFC will be happy to take advantage of. The follow coming in from Crypto. Thank you, Crypto, for the follow. Welcome to Sportia Stream. And for... I don't know if this is the first time in this series, but it's definitely the first time I think we've had GHG losing in the final minutes. I don't think it's the first time they've ever had a deficit in a game, but in this series, but it's definitely the first time they've had a deficit with so little time remaining. Generally, when it comes to the final minute, that's when Golden Area Sports Premier are the most comfortable, but right now, definitely not that way for them. WashedFC trying to answer back, but Avco will force it through. 2-2, Golden Area Sports Premier want this series to end in a sweep. They'll put in all the effort they can to get there. All Golden Area Sports Premier really need is one more goal and to hold this lead, and they'll be facing Dark Falcons in the finals. But for WashedFC, again, I said it, a glimmer of hope. As that one's gonna fall in for Tuscany! That glimmer of hope has just gotten a little bit brighter for them. As the bouncer, Afro couldn't read it. I said it was gonna break at some point for Golden Hour. But this is not the time Afro wanted it to happen. And now, even less time for Golden Area Sports to come back. Chelona didn't like that read. It's just waiting there for Tuscany. Shoddy will force him off the ball. Now he'll jump for this one. Down the field. Chelona trying to bump out Turks. Demo. Afro. Shot on! Saved by Carp. Keep his team's hopes alive here. Golden Hour. Maybe one more chance. They're going to have to make it from their back half. Afro. Chelona trying to reach it. Turks answers back. WashedFC will take game 4. They're not out of the series here. Definitely their best game thus far, and Golden Hour Esports Premier's worst. This one felt so much more even. We see this kind of offense continue from WashedFC. They're gonna have to continue to keep Golden Hour Esports Premier caught back. And again, their big issue, WashedFC, is what happens when they have to work with Avcro, because he has been shooting a lot of these plays for WashedFC. Sorry, for Golden Hour. WashedFC, they have mainly relied on Carp, but it does feel like everybody's getting more involved as time goes by. Again, a reminder, all Golden Hour needs is one game win, and they'll be moving to the finals. Was that one game just kind of a blip in the road here for Golden Hour Esports, or do WashedFC have a real comeback brewing? Well, they're gonna have to make a comeback in this game, that's for sure. 15 seconds in, and already Golden Hour is on top. Shalona with the shot here. Over Carp, over Turks, into the back of the nets. The turtle man himself, Chalona, with first strike on Wasteland. Inch play. Turks doesn't like this one. Tuscany now. Bumped by Avcro. Jotty. Tuscany's gonna just jump shot on top of that one. WashedFC have been going for dunks all series long. Sometimes they'll connect. Seems to be a bit of a rarity when it does, though. But whenever they do get them, you can expect a lot of quick shots to come from them to follow. As Golden Hour with a wide rotation, WashedFC trying to put on the high press. Definitely more reliance on that boost steal as well from WashedFC. Trying to slow down Golden Hour's momentum. Now Shoddy, 50 with Carp. In for Turks. Kept out by Chalona. Tuscany now off the back wall. A tried and true classic here from WashedFC using that back wall. But so far, WashedFC, they're the ones down. They're the ones who have to find a way back. They're the ones who will be asking the questions. Golden Hour Esports won't be, well, they won't be the ones who have to push. That's to say the least, but I mean, they're going to try to get a second goal. 2 goals for Golden Hour. Definitely better than 1. There's a bounce in front for Carp. Just tucks it into the top right corner. Well, Golden Hour Esports now, they'll definitely need that second goal, because WashedFC have tied this one back up. Turks to Carp, and again, you can feel a shift in these games. It feels like WashedFC are starting to get things to go their way. By the way, WashedFC, no stranger to having made history on this stream. They have been the first and currently only team to ever win in a perfect sweep. As there's Turks, now they're in the lead. Hold off on that point as Tuscany off the back wall. And again, that back wall has been left pretty uncovered here from Golden Hour Esports Premier. I think it's becoming a bit of an issue for them. Again, as I said, WashedFC, no stranger to history. It was Carp and Turks who played in a 2v2 matchup and got their first ever perfect sweep on this stream, and currently the only perfect sweep that has ever been recorded on this stream. If you guys don't know what a perfect sweep is, that's when you concede 0 goals in a best of 5 or best of 7. It was in a best of 5. We've actually never seen a best of 7 perfect sweep. Nor have we seen a best of 7 reverse sweep. We've only had one chance where we went to game 7 in a reverse sweep scenario for a best of 7. Unfortunately, that game was months ago, and it did not end in a reverse sweep. Neither do Golden Hour Esports want this series to end that way. Is Tuscany with the clear? Jotty waiting back. Looking for an outplay. Shalona jumping onto it. Golden Hour, definitely, again, wider rotations from them these games. They have not been nearly as strong at reading each other's plays. You can see that in their overall positioning. Not nearly as much trust. It does feel like a part of that is just WashedFC being able to read the play so well, as again, no communication with Golden Hour. Shoddy needed to dribble that one, but I don't think he recognized the situation. And they're still pushing here, Golden Hour, but you feel they're maybe in a bit of a losing fight against this WashedFC side. As Shalona, demoed by Carp. The bouncer Not read by Tuscany. Turks will jump on top of it. Defense right now of the highest priority for WashedFC. As long as they can keep their defense strong, they'll be taking this game. As Avco jumping on top. Carp fours the net, but Shoddy will wait for it. His flick. Not through Turks. Tuscany wide of the nets. Oh, and a miss from Carp means that Golden Hour can now transition the other way. Again, it stopped immediately by this WashedFC side. Avco now trying to find a way out. Carp will answer with a touch off the back wall. Shoddy doesn't read this one perfectly. Chalona will save him, but Tuscany follow through. 3-1. WashedFC are gaining momentum. WashedFC now, about a minute left. They just have to hold this one. This series has completely flipped on its head. A 180 in the overall positioning and confidence of these teams. It's WashedFC who are now the ones who are leading the charge, not Golden Hour. And for Golden Hour, they have a lot of time to try to recover from this. But momentum, it's a scary thing. And for WashedFC, they're the ones who have all of it. Golden Hour, can they find something here to take back? Can they find a goal? Can they find maybe a chance? WashedFC won't let them have it. They're going to get this one off the back. Well, I thought they were going to score that, but Carp decided not to go for the shot. Now he will. But Chillin is waiting for it. Attempts at a clear. Shoddy waiting. Pop up. Tuscany clears this one away. Another game for WashedFC. And that means they're now one step closer to that reverse sweep and to, again, make it to the finals. They're still looking for maybe one more, but Avco won't let it happen. WashedFC now, again, just a 3-2 series. This one could become extremely close, as now, again, we're going to now Neo Tokyo. WashedFC might actually start to run away with this one. Golden Hour fans were so confident at the start of the series, but now they hold their breath. Here we go, Neo Tokyo. WashedFC from being 3-0 down in the series. Now they're only one step away from going to Champions Field. It has been an interesting play of events here. But now would be a time better than ever for Golden Hour to come back. And they're going to score first, just like they did in Game 5. This time, though, it's Shoddy who just rushed this one. Took no care if he got a 50-50, got dunked, whatever. Just went for it. It's King Lil Griffin with the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. We're in Game 6 here. WashedFC are trying to make a reverse sweep possible. This game, it's only going to get more difficult, though, as time goes by, because Golden Hour are going to start to recover more and more. But WashedFC have what it takes. I mean, we've seen them take 2 games already. Avco. Chalona. Strong shots through the defense. And now, that lead has just been doubled for Golden Hour. Tuscany was the last one back, was waiting on it. Chalona will pierce the defense with his strong shot. WashedFC are going to have to recover from a 2-goal deficit here. They have a lot of time to do it, but not a good sign for them if they want to make that reverse sweep happen. Because Golden Hour, again, they're definitely not going to let it happen easily. WashedFC have to be resilient here in this game. They don't have any lives left. They can't just lose this game and be happy with it. No, they have to win! That's a third goal! Brooks was caught napping on his goal line. Tuscany's touch there wasn't great, but Turks had a lot of time to recover. But I don't know what his positioning is there for. He is not in the right place. He should be behind his line, hugging that post. And not outside his net. So far in the first minute, Golden Sports Premier trying to shut down any sort of WashedFC comeback. Dunk from Tuscany. Wanted to get the bump on Shoddy. Said he'll go after Chelona instead. And he'll get someone. Clear from Tuscany. Avcro. We'll get back to this one. Shoddy now with the demo on Carp. Because why not? We're seeing more and more demos as this series goes on, aren't we? Players coming here from WashedFC. Carp was the last one back. Wanted to find Tuscany there. And Joel now Esports. More demos. Shoddy, the one who's starting to initiate these enforcement type plays. Trying to keep WashedFC back by force. Avcro, who touches infield. Shoddy, saved by Tuscany, who just waited on the goal line. Must have been a very frightening situation seeing so many players jump up, but Tuscany, he won't be scared now. As he'll transition into offense. WashedFC finally get their first goal this game. It's felt like it's taken a long time to get up to offense. First of all. But now they have, they'll make the most out of it. I'm going to have to repeat that a couple times over. If they're going to see any chance of winning this game. There's now Chelona, near shot! Tuscany, side flip, follow up, over Carp. Golden Arrow Esports trying to shut down this game. As a triple commit from WashedFC will be their undoing. Again, Carp, we're at the wrong positioning here from WashedFC. They're really eager to get out of defense to the point where they're not actually putting themselves inside their nets where they should be on defense. Only making things difficult for themselves here by not putting themselves in the best possible position. As Carp, with a little doink, that's not going to be on target, but it will be fighting here for Golden Hour. Shot on, saved by Chelona. Turks wanted to put that one on target, but it's clipped away by Shoddy. Tuscany off the back wall. Couple players missed. Turks couldn't put power behind it. Still in front. Team bump from Golden Hour. Turks all by himself. Over, but not in. Still pushing. Golden Hour finally get their breakthrough. Had to use a lot of boost to get that one away. Shoddy, though, trying to answer back. Again, WashedFC committing 2 or 3 players at every single shot here. Worrying sign for this team as there's not much time left for them. If they cannot get their bearings and get a couple of plays on offense, they are going to be out of the running. And Golden Hour Esports, they're not going to make it easy for them. Chelona with another. WashedFC faced an almost impossible task. Herculean in power. They have to get 4 goals in these final 86 seconds. They rely heavily on the kickoffs, on efficiency, being able to get the ball out of your defense quickly. Something right now they're struggling to do. It's Golden Hour. We'll not let them go. A vice grip here on WashedFC. But Tuscany gets rid of this one. Shoddy holds control, challenged by Turks. Chelona jumping, so does Carp. 60 seconds now. The Golden Hour to get to punch their ticket to the grand finals. They're guaranteed top 2. It's Turks with the dunk across the net. Carp, can he shoot this one on target? No. And that one might be all that they wrote here for WashedFC, unless they still can get a chance. Turks. Rise to the pinch. Tuscany now. In the corner. Avcro misses. So does Shoddy, though. In for Carp. That shot is in the top right corner. They had to waste so much time to get to this one. Oh, now Esports, they might not win on the offensive part at the end of this game, but they'll win because the clock is on their side. 24 seconds. WashedFC with their backs against the wall. Is this where their run will end? Avcro. Over. Trying to get through everybody. Avcro! To seal the deal. He takes it from the midfield. Everybody jumped from WashedFC, but no one will get even close to Avcro. And that is it. Golden Arrow Esports will be heading to the Grand Finals. They'll be facing Dark Falcons later this week. Make sure to keep watching the stream to find out more action because this semifinals are all over. One more series of Golden Arrow Esports Premier and they could be champions. One more series against their toughest opponents yet, Dark Falcons, will be waiting for them. 4-2 is the series scoreline. Golden Arrow Esports Premier at some point in the series. Looks like they could have gotten reverse swept. But they are able to stave off WashedFC here. And that means, again, you'll be seeing them progress through into the finals. What a ton of events here. Definitely, probably a lot closer than many expect it to be, but it started off so well for Golden Arrow Esports, up 3-0 in the series, and then things started to take a change. But still, Golden Arrow Esports got that lead so early in the series that it never really looked like they were ever going to lose it. Well, again, games 4 and 5 kept it close. We're going to get Shoddy in here for the interview. And they'll be chatting with us here about these sort of events, about, the Grand Finals coming up. What's fun about the Grand Finals is that both the teams going into it are currently going to be undefeated. We have both the undefeated teams going to the Grand Finals. There's a reason they're undefeated. There's a reason that they're moving to the finals here. Dark Falcons on one side, Golden Arrow Esports on the other. And here with me is Shoddy. How you doing, Shoddy? What a series. You're now off to the Grand Finals.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, and thank you for casting the games. Appreciate you, Sporty.
Of course. Again, it's been a close series, and it started out all so well for you guys. Up 3-0 in the series. What changed going into Game 4?
Honestly, I think maybe we got a little too lax. I noticed that our aggression and our speed that we came out with, we kind of lost it a little bit there for a couple games. But we talked about it. We took a little break, reset, and decided to go back at them, and it paid off for us.
Again, you had to push in there, and so again, you said games 4 and 5 you got relaxed. Game 6 it came swinging out of the gates. What was the kind of the reasoning behind the change up for Game 6? It's so tough for teams to kind of get out of that relaxed state, especially with the pressure on you. The potential of a reverse sweep. You never want to be in that situation. But what was it that kind of snapped your team out of it, got your team back to playing like you usually did, like you did in the first 3 games in Game 6?
To be completely honest with you, it has to do a lot with me ball chasing to the other end, kind of getting in their face, not letting them push the ball out, and I think that allowed Shalona and Avcro to really rotate around and create some offense, and that was super helpful because we never really had to go back and play defense once we got it in their corner, so that felt really nice. Yeah,
I'm sure. Again, it definitely must have. It just had to push hard there. Tell me currently about your playoff run. I mean, it's definitely not been easy, though. You started off against Breadcrumb Gaming, and it was, it was not a pretty series, obviously. It was not your best matchup. Again, a lot of people started to kind of doubt you guys. Do you think you've kind of pushed away all those doubts that you have, about your own performances in these matchups?
Absolutely. We're a great team. All of our members are fantastic players, and sometimes there are weeks where, there's a lot of stuff in personal life. Like I know some of us are students, some of us work, and And so, you have to manage those things and try to show up and play. So there's weeks that are tougher than others, but I definitely believe in our team. We've gone toe to toe with some really, really amazing players, and we know that when we're firing on all cylinders, we can go toe to toe with anybody in this league and kind of anybody that wants to play us. So I think as long as we maintain that confidence, people can say whatever they'd like, but we're in the grand finals and we plan on taking it home.
Yeah, and again, the team that you have to face off against the grand finals, you've not played them yet. Dark Falcons. You definitely haven't played them, but you have seen them. Again, Dark Falcons, they are dominating everybody in their side of the brackets. Their last two series were both 4-0s against very formidable opponents here in IMMO Drakes, and if I have to check their last matchup against Juicy Lucy, they've swept both of those teams. They have not looked like they've slowed down. In fact, I think they've gotten faster and faster as time's gone on. What do you have to say about that? Kind of, it's going to be your toughest matchup so far in the season. Of course, it's in the finals. It's in the championship matchup. What do you say to the what do you say about the about kind of playing against Dark Falcons? Is they're not going to be easy?
All due respect to them, they're a wonderful, fantastic team. Obviously, they wouldn't be in the finals if they weren't. But no matter who it is on the other side of the team, whether it's if it's an RLCS team, if it's a bubble team, if it's Dark Falcons, we got to show up and play to the best of our abilities. So best of luck to them, and we'll see who comes out on top.
And I love to hear the confidence. I love to hear that. I want you to make your prediction. And now for the grand finals, you'll be playing Dark Falcons. Predict, what do you think the series will end up being?
With a GAG Premier W.
No, I mean like specifically, like how many games? I know you expect GAG Premier to win, but by how much?
Hard to say. I mean, they're a great team, like you said. We haven't seen them before, so I'm sure they might take a game, but I would really hope that we don't let them take 2 or 3 games. I would like to keep them to 1.
So 4-1 is Shawnee's prediction here in the grand finals. Well, you'll be facing off against Dark Falcons there later this week. Congratulations on making it so far. Golden Esports Premier truly do deserve it. We got both the undefeated teams in the final matchup of the of the playoffs here. Again, thank you so much for joining me, Shawty. Congratulations. Good luck in your grand finals matchup.
Yeah, thank you, Sporty. See you then.
That will be it here for the stream. Thank you all so much for joining and being fun people to hang out with. That is it from me. Again, thank you all so much for joining. Stick around. Keep following the stream for more action. We're going to get those grand finals here in the next couple of days. And I'll be streaming it here on the Sporty stream again, everybody. Take care. Have a great night.